ॐ गणानां त्वा गणपतिगं मवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पद आनः शृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनं श्रीमहागणपतये नमः। प्रणो देवी सरस्वती वाजेभिर्वाजिनीवति दीनामवित्र्यवतु महासरस्वत्यै नमः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुदेवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। गुरुवे सर्वलोकानां विषये भवरोगिणां निधये सर्वविद्यानां श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। अस्मिन् गुरुचरणारविन्दाभ्यां नमः। देवीं वाचमजनयन्त देवाः तां विश्वरूपा पशवो वदन्ति सा नो मन्द्रेषु मूर्जन्दुहाना धेनुर्वागस्मानुपतिष्ठतैतु यात्सं वसिष्ठनत्तारं शक्तेः पौत्रमकल्मषं पराशरात्मजं वन्दे शुकतादं तपोनिधिं व्यासाय विष्णुरूपाय व्यासरूपाय विष्णवे नमो वै ब्रह्महृदये वासिष्ठाय नमो नमः। श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। शिवशक्तिसमारम्भां भास्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मत्श्रीनाथपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। श्री ललिता महात्रिपुरसुंदरी समेत श्री चंद्रमौलीश्वराय नमः। श्री कांची कामकोटि पीठाधिपति जगद्गुरु श्री शंकराचार्य श्री चरणयोः प्रणामाः। स्वस्ति श्रीमदखिल भूमंडलालंकार त्रयत्रिंशत् कोटि देवता सेवित श्री कामाक्षी देवी सनाथ श्रीमदेकांबरनाथ श्री महादेवी सनाथ श्री हस्तगिरिनाथ साक्षात्कार परमाधिष्ठान सत्यव्रत नामांकित कांची दिव्य क्षेत्रे शारदा मठसुस्थितानां अतुलित सुधार समाधुर्य कमलासन कामिनी धम्मिल्ल संफुल्ल मल्लिका मालिका निष्यंद मकरंद झरी सौवस्थिक वांग निगुंभ विजृंभणांद तुंदृति मनीषि मंडलानाम अनवरदाद्वैत विद्या विनोद रसिकानां निरन्तरालंकृतीकृत शांति दांति भूम्नां सकल भुवन चक्र प्रतिष्ठापक श्री चक्र प्रतिष्ठा विख्यात यशोलंकृतानां निखिल पाषंड शंट कंटकोद्धाटनेन विशदीकृत वेद वेदांत मार्ग शन्मत प्रतिष्ठापकाचार्याणां श्रीमत् परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्यवर्य श्री जगद्गुरु श्रीमत् शंकर भगवत्पादाचार्याणाम् अधिष्ठाने सिंहासनाभिषिक्त श्रीमत् चंद्रशेखरेंद्र सरस्वती संयमीन्द्राणाम् अधिष्ठाने सिंहासनाभिषिक्त श्रीमत् जयेंद्र सरस्वती संयमीन्द्राणाम् अन्तेवासिवर्य श्रीमत् शंकर विजयेंद्र सरस्वती श्रीपादानां च शरणननयोः सप्रश्रयं साञ्जलिबन्धं च नमस्कुर्मः। श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। I think sometime back I had given a small homework of finding out what is there in the Swasti Vachanam itself that gives out many information about Sanatana Dharma. So, Parango, analyze the Swasti itself and see if you're able to pick up some keywords and get meanings on that. Second, pardon my voice and Shloka la tadmaritana konjam bear with me because I'm under a lot of medication. So there is a possibility that I may fumble more. Third, as I had indicated to you, there is a extensive amount of work going on, which after a lot of thought, Vedic Sampradaya will come up with a proper university type of curriculum. Fulla. And I don't want to call it university. The localization starts from here. So it will be called Vedic Sampradaya Vidyapitha Abdin. This is of no accreditation, no certification. So I don't have to go through that hassle of being observed by people. This is just distribution of our own knowledge to our own people. So we don't need any compliance to any other forum. It's free for all. So total of 163 courses are there. And it turns out to be that it will result in about 1,500 episodes of what you call it as a podcast or as a lecture. So it's a massive undertaking. Everything under Sanatana Dharma Vanduro. And it is divided into 9 schools, 4 levels. There will be clear prerequisites saying if you want to take this course, then you have to have completed that particular previous 2 courses, etc., just to make sure that you have the basic understanding before you jump to the higher levels. People can branch off the way they want out of the 9 schools, whichever way they want to do it. These are all going to be that you can watch the YouTube video. You will have the access to the scripts, and you can keep learning. You can do individual learning, you can do group learning, whichever is convenient to you. The ultimate audience is going to be the future children of the world, especially our own kids. that feel so embarrassed to even talk about any of these things. Primarily, the whole conversation is dumbed down to a very simplistic level. And all of you that would have interacted with me for years, there are many, many more experts who can talk about bhashyams and translations and commentaries, and that and the commentary, to understand the commentary itself, you need some basic level of IQ. Whereas where I am taking it is simplifying the whole system to a common man, a person who's driving an auto rickshaw, or a common man who's doing his 9 to 5 job, doesn't have much of an education. That person should be able to relate to what is Sanatana Dharma. There are many, many misconceptions that the system is for elitists, the system is only for educated people, the system is only for Brahmana. So the aim is to break that myth left, right, and center, because the foundation of Vedic Sampradaya itself was differentiate between Shastra and Sampradaya. So that is what the target audience is. So you're not going to get some shocking revelations in terms of knowledge. Maybe there are, depending on your level of knowledge, but it will be simplified to a very basic level of knowledge. The uniqueness is wherever there is a potential reference to a scientific evidence that the Western world has created, I've connected it to the scientific evidence that even if I'm talking of a body of knowledge of 100%, even if there are 10% of that, somebody has done some scientific evaluation and proved that theory is right. To the naysayers, I think that should be good enough. That this body of knowledge that we take pride as Sanatana Dharma is not fake or is not irrelevant in today's era. It is actually more relevant. So you will have citations of medical papers, etc. So it's not, nothing is talked in air. So that is the point. அதில் வாலண்டரி கான்ட்ரிபியூஷன்ஸ் பண்ணுறதுக்கு நிறையா ஸ்கோப் இருக்குது. There is plenty of scope for people to say, I have some contribution in this. There is no money involved anywhere. So there is no collection of money, there is no payment of money. We totally talk it as a Shramadana. Obviously, for various reasons, it is centered around me and my effort. So the bulk of the research and documentation creation is my effort, so that the program runs smoothly. I have not put myself under any time pressure that I have to finish it off in 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, nothing. I've started the motion. It will end whenever it ends, as long as I'm alive. If people contribute, maybe it can accelerate and happen faster. So that announcement, please be aware. And if you want, you can spread the word around to your people so that they keep a lookout for this. It will be branching off from the same channel, Vedic Sampradaya channel. Of that, there will be a Vedic Sampradaya Vidyapita channel. Discussions are on. We don't want to create 9 channels and bifurcate the audience. So there are lots of thoughts and suggestions coming in. Should it be just 1 channel, 2 channel, 3 channels? So those things are being decided. Once that is done, the channel will be formed and scripts will be created, uploaded. The videos also will be created and uploaded for anybody and everybody to just follow. So that is, and I will share the forms for voluntary registrations. If there are people interested in volunteering, you can sign up and say, yes, I can. Volunteering can be for 1 hour per week or 10 hours per week. It's all up to you. Nothing, there's no mandatory or compulsory thing. If you are not able to contribute, that is also fine, because I understand everybody has their own commitment. But I think this was important because when I look around, the number of kids that are getting converted or even going away from our basic system just because they have no clue, and there is so much of confusion. I think it is time we ask that question. The number of mathas, number of peethams that we have in India, the body of knowledge, the number of experts, despite having all that, despite having one of the best brains, the number of people that are going away from our system is mind-boggling. I don't want to talk politics, but we all are aware of what is going on in every part of the world. So this I have undertaken. I'm well aware of criticisms, comments, negativism. Bring it on, no problem. Even if I'm able to change the lives of 100 kids, my contribution is done. I think I have done my due bit to our society. So the idea is to wake up people to the realities of what our system is rather than going through those layers of polarization that we have been used to. So look at it from an open mind and learn things. So that is one announcement I just wanted to make, which I have not shared with anybody outside yet, but this is coming. This is realistically happening. I'll share the snapshot in one of the classes so you can see how it looks. 1500 episodes is not small. Technically, as per the system, it will take 10 years for me to complete it, just to give you an idea. So I hope I'm alive until that point and I'm able to fulfill the initiative. There are ways and means by which I'm trying to compress the timeline much bigger way. So that is FYI. So with that positive news, let's get started. So we completed the Dhyana Shlokam last time. So if all of you are enjoying the class so far and the information that is being shared and the benefit that you're deriving out of it, just you can put your thumb or whatever emoji that you have in your this thing. So Shloka number 1. Hari Om. One more comment. If you have seen some discussions in the group, Lataji had mentioned that, the moment I start going into perfection of chanting, I'm not able to focus on God. And so that was a conflict that she experienced. If any one of you experience that, then you focus on whatever is the shloka, the way you are chanting it. But be rest assured, chanting it the right way will get you the benefit. That's very clear. There's no arguments or there is no choice for us to say that I can chant it whichever way I want. Then I'm expected to get the benefit. There is a purpose for all these things. And if you go through the Vidyapita, you will see a lot of diagrams and explanations of why whatever I've been saying all along makes sense. And these are like I've tried to capture the whole concept into one picture or one image, and a simple concept like what stress does to you and how tools that are given in either Bhagavad Gita or Prashna Upanishad, for example. Sambandhame kadadu. There's no connection that you can correlate Prashna Upanishad to stress, correct, as of today. But in that one diagram, you will see it. So be rest assured that you have to chant perfect. There is no compromise on that. And if you really want to see the benefit of it, put in your effort and distinguish between learning phase and chanting phase. So people ask, what if I make a lot of mistakes? When you are learning, obviously you're going to make mistakes. Like if you're learning driving again, you're going to break those lanes and you're going to crash into something or hit something. But that's the whole idea of learning, that if you hit or crash or if you do something wrong, what will happen? And that is part of the learning. So any other confusion question, please message me offline and I'll be more than happy to answer them. So Hari Om Vishwam Vishnur Vashatkaro Bhuta Bhavya Bhavat Prabhu Vishwam Vishnur Vashatkaro Bhuta Bhavya Bhavat Prabhu Bhuta Krit Bhuta Bhritbhavo Bhutatma Bhuta Bhavanah Bhutakritbhutabhridbhavo Bhutatma Bhutabhavanah. Here, the meaning is it's declaring Vishnu, Lord Vishnu, as Vishwam, the universe itself. He is the universe. Vishwam Vishnu, he is the universe. Vashatkaro abdinaka, the sacrificial utterance that gives life to yajna. Bhuta Bhavya Bhavat Prabhu, Lord of past, future, and present. Bhuta Krit and Bhuta Bhrit. Bhuta Krit and Bhuta Bhrit are creator and supporter of beings. When you say beings, it's not just human beings, any living being, right? So Bhava means pure existence. Bhutatma the self of all beings. And Bhuta Bhavana, the nourisher of beings. Bhuta Bhavana means the nourisher of beings. So that is Shloka number 1. So in the first Shloka, it presents him as time, space, creation, sustenance, and the inmost self, all at once. Shloka number 2. Here you understand the difference. Bhu is Mahaprana. Everything is Bhuta, Bhavya, Bhavat, Prabhu. Even Prabhu, Bhuhu has to be coming from the Nabhi. Don't say Prabhu. Prabhu is wrong. Prabhu. Bhuta Krit Bhuta, Bhrit Bhavo, Bhutatma, Bhuta Bhavanaha. Whereas the next sloka, you start with Putatma, Putatma Paramatma Cha Muktanam Paramagatihi. And try to sync up with the way I'm chanting it. That will give you the perfection in matra. For example, Putatma, Puta, Ta is Dirga, Pu is Dirga, Putatma, Para is 1 1, each one. Paramatma Cha. Invariably, you take the cha with the previous word. Mukta Nam. That im, Anuswara, has to also to be given a matra. So don't rush without doing that. Mukta Nam Paramagatihi. Parama ma Dirgam. Paramagatihi. Avyayah Purushas Sakshi. Kshetrajno Kshara Evacha. Avyayah Purushas Sakshi. Kshetrajnokshara evacha. So when you chant Sakshi, the ka has to be very clearly heard, loudly heard. Kshetra, then after Jno there is a avagraha. So Kshetrajno, Jno, drag it one more matra. Jnokshara evacha. So that is shloka number 2. The meaning here is he is Putatma, the ever pure self. Putatma means ever pure self, and is also the supreme self, Paramatma. We are Jivatma, he is Paramatma. So the ultimate goal of the liberated, Muktanam Paramagatihi. When we keep talking about moksha or liberation, what are we trying to do? We are saying that we are going to merge with the Paramatma. That is our ultimate goal of the liberated. He is Avyaya, which means imperishable. He is the Purusha, the indwelling person. And again, whenever you hear the word Purusha, don't again come back to the gender, Purusha or Stri. That is not what it is. When we talk of Purusha, it's a Brahman. Also, it is a principle, not the gender by itself. Sakshi means witness. Kshetrajna, knower of the field of body and mind. Knower of the field of body and mind. Akshara means the syllable that is imperishable. How many of you know in depth anything about Akshara per se, letters? How much do you think you can talk about Akshara, a letter? Very difficult to understand. A letter is a letter, right? So what's the big deal, right? You can talk about at least for half an hour to 1 hour. So I'm just trying to say things so that you open up, and maybe I'll try to capture some of these things in the Vidyapita courses, etc. But that is the level to which we have understanding of this cosmos. And it is imperative that we don't lose the body of knowledge. So the cluster in this shloka establishes him as the inner witness and final destination of every seeker. That is the meaning of shloka number 2. Number 3. Yogo yoga vidam neta pradhana purusheshvaraha Yogo yogavidam neta pradhana purusheshwarah Narasimha pushriman Keshavah purushottamah Narasimha. Ha also is Mahaprana. And don't chant it as Simha. It is Simha, Anunasika. Vapuhu will become Vapush because the following word is Shriman. Narasimha Vapush Shriman Keshavah Purushottamah. So if you notice it, the first time I chanted, I fumbled. I don't know how many of you noticed. The second time when I chanted, it got corrected because the way you think and the way you visualize the grouping will enable you to chant it right, or you'll make a mistake. Replay the YouTube video if you want a live demonstration of that. Note down the timing of the YouTube video at this point, come back, do backward, forward, analyze the way I chanted the first time and the way I chanted the second time. So that is what the power of grouping is. So if you group it right, you can chant it at any speed and nicely. Tune and all you worry about later. Once you know how to chant every akshara properly, tune automatically will fit in. It's not a big deal. Okay, so focus on the actual chanting. So Purushottamaha, again you have to land the, after show, you have to land at the it and then say tamaha. Purushottamaha. So shloka number 3, the meaning is he is yoga, the very means of union. Yoga Vidam Neta, leader of those who know yoga. Pradhana Purusheshwara, Lord of both Prakriti and Purusha. Narasimha Vapu, the man lion form. Sriman, consort of Sri. You know, Sri means referring to who, right? So he is the consort of Sri. That is why he is called Sriman. Keshava, Lord of lustrous locks, slayer of Keshin. There are two meanings to this Keshava. Kesha means hair. So he is also called Keshava because of the lustrous locks of hair that he has. But he is also the slayer of Keshin. Purushottama, the highest person above the perishable and the imperishable. He is beyond all this. So in this case, the verse joins the disciplinary, cosmological, and avataric facets of Lord. Avataric means the way. Narasimha avatar is one avatar. So the avataric facets of the Lord. Shloka number 4. Sarvasharvashivasthanur bhutadir nidhiravyayah. Sarvasharvashivasthanur bhutadir nidhiravyayah. Sambhavo bhavano bharta prabhavah prabhurishwarah. Sambhavo bhavano bharta prabhavah prabhurishwarah. So shloka number 4, the meaning here is he is sarva, all. He is sharva, the auspicious destroyer. Again, a very good example of, let us say you're not used to chanting sharva as sharva, right? The second word is sharva, but you're not used to chanting it as sharva. You keep saying sarva. One mispronunciation, the meaning itself changes because the first word is sarva. Sarva means all. Sharva means the auspicious destroyer. What you're trying to say, the meaning completely changes by mispronunciation. Shiva. Here Shiva is referred as the auspicious. This is not referring to Lord Shiva. The auspicious. Sthanu, the firm, the immovable. Bhutadi, Bhuta Adi, the origin of elements. When we talk of 5 elements, origin of elements. Nidhir avyayah. These are two different words which gets combined as nidhir avyayah. Nidhir avyayah is the imperishable treasure. Sambhava, self-born. Sambhavo bhavano. Sambhava is self-born. Bhavana, again nourisher. Bharta, sustainer. Prabhava, the source. Prabhu Ishwaraha. Prabhu Ishwaraha becomes Prabhurishwaraha. Because the Visarga gets substituted as ir plus e is re, that is why it is becoming Prabhurishwaraha. Prabhu means master. Ishwara means sovereign Lord. Together they affirm the creation, sustenance, and lordship. They all rest in Him alone. Shloka number 5. Swayambhush Shambhuradityah Pushkaraksho Mahaswanah Swayambhush Shambhuradityah Pushkaraksho Mahaswanah Anadinidhano Dhata Vidhata Dhaturuttamah Anadinidhano Dhata Vidhata Dhaturuttamah. Shloka number 5. The meaning here, Swayambhu means self-existent. Shambhu, giver of bliss. And again, if I am repeating myself, pardon me, but there is a difference between bliss and joy. I think it was in the USA class, somebody answered the question also. Do you anyone of you know the difference between just bliss and joy?
The extreme joy.
That is one partial answer.
Is joy more like temporary?
Contentment.
Contentment.
US class
Correct.
lesson.
There you go. That is a keyword.
I heard it, yes.
Yes. Good. But that's okay. See, again, these are some of the principles that I'm recommending very simplistically to ease things out. Vedam, you're supposed to chant by heart. Agreed. But what if I am unable to because of various conditions, medical conditions or health conditions? Is it a sin to look at that PDF in front of you just to assure you that you are not forgetting things? I don't think so. What you cannot do is read Path. Same way, if you heard somebody say it, there's no harm in saying, I heard it and I'm repeating it now. The good part is that you caught it and you got the answer. So, very good answer. The difference, Preetiji, is containment. When you get achieved bliss means you are contented. Joy can be fleeting and temporary. So your answer was also right. Is it temporary? The answer is yes. So Shambhu means the giver of bliss. So when you worship him, when you praise him, when you focus on him and you chant all these hymns, it is supposed to give you that bliss. Aditya, the sun-like one, also the Vamana among Aditya. Pushkaraksha, lotus-eyed. And you see how the verse itself has got words that are mixing between his physical attributes plus who he is and what he is doing. And if you remember the introductory part of Vishnu Sahasranamam that was discussed, Sahasranamam is not just merely 1,000 names for him. It is also describing his physical attributes, his other spiritual attributes, and what he is capable of. That he is a sustainer, that he is the nourisher, plus lotus side. Tiripi, it keeps on changing from one word to another. Mahaswara of vast cosmic sound. Anadi Nidhana, without beginning or end. Dhata, the creator or the ordainer. Vidhata, dispenser of karma's fruits. Again, as I promised, I won't digress myself into giving more and more explanations, but understand the difference between karma, dharma, and what is the meaning of karma. why you are following the karma. Dhatu Ruttama, the supreme constituent. So if you try to break it down, Dhatuhu is actually elements. Any of the metals or any of the steel alloys, etc., are all called Dhatuhu. Uttamaha. Uttama means supreme, most, topmost. So when you combine, it becomes Dhatu Ruttamaha. So the supreme constituent. So this shloka fuses self-existence with moral causation. Shloka number 6. Aprameyo Hrishikesha Padmanabho Maraprabhu. Aprameyo Hrishikesha Padmanabho Maraprabhu. Vishwakarma Manustvashta Stavishthas Staviro Dhruvaha. Vishwakarma Manustvashta Stavishthas Staviro Dhruvaha. Stavishthas. Visarga will get substituted as is. So tha with the hard. Vish ish is soft. Tha is hard. So the meaning of this shloka is, he is aprameya, the immeasurable. Aprameya means immeasurable. Hrishikesha. H is the starting letter. Nabhi len varna. It should come from your nabhi. Hrishi Kesha. Master of the senses. In this context, Hrishikesha means master of the senses. Padmanabha, lotus naveled, from whose navel Brahma arises. If you can imagine the picture, Vishnu Nabhi length, you see the lotus. From the lotus, you will see Brahma seated on the lotus. Amara Prabhu, Lord of the immortals. Prabhu na master. Amara means immortal. So, Lord of the immortals. Vishwakarma, the cosmic architect. Manu, the lawgiver. I think I've gone into details about Manu last class, so you can revise and understand what Manu is all about. Twasta, the divine artisan. Stavishta, the most expansive. Means beyond your imagination, most expansive. Staviro Dhruvaha, the ancient and unwavering. Staviro Dhruvaha means ancient and unwavering. So this shloka or cluster celebrates him as the unsurpassed, incomparable, unsurpassed maker and sustainer of the cosmic order. So he is the one who created the cosmos. He is the one who created the laws for the cosmos. So Manu means the law. Law means, okay, the earth will take about 365 days to rotate around the sun. The moon will take 24 hours to rotate around the earth. All these are laws, and they have to be obeyed day in and day out for millenniums. It's not like it worked for 1 day, 2 days, and suddenly something changed drastically and they all start clashing with each other. So everything that happens in the cosmos is as per his order, the law that he created. And he is the sustainer of it. So you just can't create and leave it. He is sustaining that rhythm also. So indirectly, again, I'll bring it back to the point. The perfection of chanting, you may think it is a stretch. Your chanting correctly is a small contribution to him maintaining that order. When in doubt, write this down. And maybe after all the courses in the university, you can ask that question. I've completed all the courses in your university. This question still remains unanswered. Why did you make this statement? Your chanting perfectly is a contribution, positive contribution to him maintaining that order. Shloka number 7. Agrahya Shashvata Krishno Lohitaksha Pratardanah. Agrahya Shashvata Krishno Lohitaksha Pratardanah. Prabhutasтрикакубdham Pavitram Mangalam Param. Here you can split the first word as Prabhutas Trika Kub. Ib is Balaraman Bhavada half. Ib. Dham. Dha is hard. Pavitram Mangalam Param. Prabhutasтрika Kubdham Pavitram Mangalam Param. So the shloka number 7, the meaning is he is agrahya, ungraspable by senses or words. One more hint. Please circle these tips, because then you can have an index of tips given by me and you will suddenly see Sanatana Dharma is revealing to you. He is ungraspable by senses. How many of you have been chanting Vishnu Sahasranama for years? Almost all of you. Had you taken that pain to just take this one word, one meaning, you would have gotten many, many things out of it. So, again, God is not in the form of two-handed, two-legged human being sitting up there in the cloud, the way we have been taught or made to imagine. If you want to reach God or sense God, then you'll have to go beyond the 5 senses that you are used to. And the entire Western world is resting on that principle. I would like to see it, I would like to hear it, I would like to sense it, smell it. Only then I will believe it. So, as if your 5 senses are the ultimate litmus test for everything, whether it is existing or not existing. So, if you are able to take this meaning and come out of that principle, you will follow a very different path in your spiritual journey. So, he is agrahya, shashvata, he is eternal. Krishna, Krishna means the dark, all attractive one. Again, a very subtle message. I've grown up with a product called Fair and Lovely. It was one of the most racist product that ever you could have seen. You know, that whole dinning into people's head. Fair means superior, fair means good, dark means bad. Dark can also be attractive, dark can also be good. Lohitaksha, red-eyed with compassion. One more word, sending you the clear meaning. A red eye does not always mean anger. When you tear up, your eyes turn red. Does it mean you're angry? You're not. So, I'm trying to give you all those tips to break the myth with which we have grown up. If at all you have grown up like that. If you have grown up with lots of teachings, God bless your parents and ancestors. So, Lohitaksha, red-eyed with compassion. Pratardanaha, the dissolver at Pralaya. So, he is the creator, he is the destroyer. So, Pralaya happens once the Mahayuga is done. Everything gets dissolved, and there is nothing that exists for equal amount of time for the Mahayuga that you had. Okay, so at the end of Kali Yuga, this particular Mahayuga ends. That is, Vaivastha Manu will end. We are still part of Shvetavaraha Kalpa. Under Shvetavaraha Kalpa, there are so many Manus. So Pralaya means dissolution. If you look at Mahameru also, when you go from bottom to top, it is dissolution. When you go from top to bottom, it is evolution, the creation of the cosmic order. Prabhuta, always full and abundant. Trikakubdhama. Now you see the meaning here. If you did not know that the word is Trikakubdhama, you would have been interpreting Prabhuta Stri. That is Stri. Moment you see Stri, you will imagine a lady. Correct? So, understanding the meaning helps you in saying, okay, it is not Stri, it is nothing related to a lady there. It is Trikakubdhama, and is a Visarga substitution. That is why is added. So the abode of the three quarters, Trika, three, Kubdhama is abode of the three quarters. Quarter means place where you live, where you reside. Pavitra, the purifying one. Mangalam Param, supreme auspiciousness. Param means supreme, Mangalam means auspicious, supreme auspiciousness. So in this shloka, it links his transcendence with his power to purify and bless. So when you worship him, he can purify you and bless you. 8, shloka number 8. ईशानः प्राणदः प्राणो ज्येष्ठः श्रेष्ठः प्रजापतिः ईशानः प्राणदः प्राणो ज्येष्ठः श्रेष्ठः प्रजापतिः. So while you are learning, practice this again and again. Jesh, ish is soft. Jyeshtha, Jyeshtha, Shrestha. The Visarga will get substituted by half of the next akshara. Hiranyagarbho bhogarbho Madhavo Madhusudanah. Hiranyagarbho bhogarbho Madhavo Madhusudanah. Meaning is Ishana, in sovereign ruler. Prana, the giver of life or breath. Whatever prana that we have, he is the giver of that. Prana, the life itself. Jeshtha, you all know that. Eldest, or the other meaning is primordial. If you are not familiar with Sanskrit, one other thing you need to know, that one word does not carry the same meaning at all times. In Sanskrit, particularly, the meaning of the word needs to be derived from the context in which it was used. So when you are taking Sankalpam Jyeshtaputram or Jyeshtaputri, means you are talking of the eldest son or eldest daughter. Here it can also mean primordial. Primordial means the first one. There is nothing before it. Everything started from there, primordial. Shrestha is best. Prajapati, lord of creatures. Hiranyagarbha is golden wormed cosmic seed. Bhugarbha, he within whom the earth resides. Madhava, consort of Ma Lakshmi. And Madhusudana, slayer of the demon Madhu. So this particular cluster fuses cosmogonic authority with victorious dharma. Shloka number 9. Ishvaro vikrami dhanvi medhavi vikramah kramah. Ishvaro vikrami dhanvi medhavi vikramah kramah. Anuttamo duradharshah कृतज्ञः कृतिरात्मवान्. अनुत्तमो दुराधर्षः कृतज्ञः कृतिरात्मवान्. So Ishvaro Vikrami. Ishvaro means again sovereign. Vikrami, the powerful strider. Dhanvi, wielder of the bow. Dhanu na, bow and arrow. Dhanu. So, Dhanvi, wielder of the bow. Medhavi, I don't need to interpret this particular word. Everybody knows it. Vikrama, the heroic step, evoking Vamana's 3 strides, the famous Vamana's 3 strides. Krama, Kramam in common languages, orderly progression. You do everything as per a krama. There is a particular sequence or order of progression. Anuttama, unsurpassed. Dhuradarsha, impossible to assail. Kritagnya, knower of every act done by his devotees. So watch out. He's watching you all the time, 24/7. Kriti, the very deed, whatever you're doing, the very deed, actions. And Atmavan, self grounded. So this particular shloka honors his strength as what he is capable of, purely from his strength, as well as his attentiveness to every devotee's smallest offering. So there are many questions that people ask. Should I do Nutiyattu Laddu? Should I do this? Should I do that? The quantity is not significant. Quantity is not important. That is where the sampradaya is what you need to separate. Whenever we say, okay, if that is not important, why are we doing so much of bhakshanam and this and that, nevedyam, etc., abdinaka, slight correction and if you're understanding. In those days, this was the medium through which the whole world operated. So what will happen? If I decide to do a puja, and in US standard, we do what, potluck? Why do we do potluck? Because we invite more people. Let's say 200 people come. You want food for all of them. So that is where you start going into those numbers. I'll do 108 korkatai, appam, blah, blah, blah. For God, even if you have that small one piece is good enough. It is the intent that is more important than the quantity and numbers. Same way, can anybody say what is supposed to be known as pleasing Shiva?
Ekavilvam Shivarpanam.
There you go. There you go. Just one Bilva Patram is good enough. So keep both in mind. So it is not either or. Both have got its own purpose. Both have got its own reasons why we are doing what we are doing. So he will be attentive to all your actions and deeds. He will be paying attention to your call. If you have a call saying, Lord Vishnu, please help me, save me, that is not going to ignore you. So he's not going to say, I'm going to pay attention to only Ambanis and Adanis and I don't have time for you. There is no distinction with Lord. Shloka number 10. Suresha Sharanam Sharma Vishwareta Prajabhavah. Suresha Sharanam Sharma Vishwareta Prajabhavah. Ahas Samvatsaro Vyala Pratyayas Sarvadarshanaha. Ahas Samvatsaro Vyala Pratyayas Sarvadarshanaha. Now, here are the shlokas where you can consciously put that effort to change. Well, especially if you're chanting for many years and if you're learning something new or different here, have the courage to do that unlearning. I've been chanting like this, so let me unlearn it and go slow in these shlokas. For example, ahaha will become ahas samvatsaro. So practice word by word. Ahas samvatsaro. Vyalah pratyayah. So vyalah pratyaya. Pratyayah sarvadarshanaha will become pratyayas sarvadarshanaha. Learn to give that significance for those visarga substitution. It requires a matra, it requires time and clarity. Somebody listening to you should be able to hear those substitutions instead of rushing through it. Vishwaretaha will become Vishwaretah Prajabhavah. So the meaning of the shloka is, he is Suresha, Lord of the gods. Sharana, refuge of all. All of us can get refuge under him. Sharma, the very happiness sought by beings. Vishwareta, cosmic seed. Prajabhava, origin of all progeny. Ahaha, the day, the ever shining consciousness. Samvatsara, the year, the time itself. Have you all heard about Samvatsara, Shakha in the context of time duration? If you don't,
Little bit.
if you don't, then start learning about it. Every day when you wake up, you must know which Shakha, which Samvatsara you are part of, so that you can take that sankalpam accordingly. Right?
Yeah.
So,
Correct.
and if you don't understand or memorize, it is okay. So again, don't go to the extreme. Either I'll be absolutely clueless or I'll be a PhD. Avashyame illa. All of you can be happy to be at my level, 5%, 10% knowledgeable. That's good enough. Appreciation is important. Oh wow, this is what we have. So imagine, is there anybody who can sit and write so many number of years, so many number of kalpas, and so the whole notion that somebody has written all these things is to go away. Puriyadilya? So we have the calendar computed for life. So Vyala, the inscrutable serpentine power. Pratyaya, unwavering certainty. And Sarvadarshana, all seeing. So he is presented in this shloka as the shelter. Shelter means not tarpaulin shelter. Shelter means you take refuge under him. Sharanagati, if you do Sharanagati to him, he'll be able to take refuge under him. So he is the shelter. He is the time. When you talk of Samvatsara, Shakha, etc., he is the time. And he is the total awareness. So these are words that you really need to go deep down. Awareness and consciousness and a lot of things that you have taken for granted, probably start asking those questions. How is it that I go to sleep and when I wake up, I remember everything that I am so and so? Here is where I am. Here is what I'm supposed to do. It cannot be magic. So there is some supreme power under whose order we are all functioning. So the moment you ask those questions, you'll get a deeper understanding of many things. So in summary, these are the first 10 shlokas of Vishnu Sahasranamam. I'll take a logical pause here. And if there are any questions that you have in relation to the shlokas that you learned today, let me know. If not, we can wrap up and continue from here. I hope I did better, Yashiji, to focus more on the shloka than side. So
Please continue with the tidbits.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. This is how we learn in a very informal way. That helps.
Best. See,
Yeah.
I'm not trying to challenge people who are experts out there. Like, if you really look at the Peethams and all, they are required. They are doing what they are expected to do, what they were formed to do. But I am appealing to those people who have got blown away with that enormity of everything. There are so many Westerners who are interested in knowing our system. They say, can you show me one website where I can learn everything? Instantaneous answer. Oh, our system is so big. And say, okay, if it is so big and you can't tell me what your system is, how can I follow your system? I'm trying to break that myth. I said, ultimately, if you really simplify the whole thing, you'll make a start. Maybe there are some mistakes in our understanding with that approach. But once you get in, all of us are smart enough to navigate. So I hope that simplified explanation helps. Chinna chinna explanation as to why you are born as a human being, what God has gifted you with that human birth compared to all other living beings. And you start taking advantage of that for yourself and for society, for the society also. So somebody asked me, how is it that you create so much time in the middle of all your business to teach and to do all this creation? I said, where there is a will, there is a way. So I hope it, sort of inspires each one of you to do more than what you're doing today.
Thank you, Kumarji.
Good. Thank you so much. Take care. Have a nice day.
Thank you so much.
Patel. Yeah,
Thank
sure,
you.
sure.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Yeah.